The story of Journey is not just about music, it's about friendship, tension, and heartbreak too. For years, fans enjoyed the magical chemistry between Steve Perry and Neal Schon. Together, they created some of the biggest rock hits of the 80s. But as time passed, cracks began to show, and those cracks would eventually split fans right down the middle. Let's rewind to the early 80s. Neal Schon had already started working on solo projects. In fact, he released 2 albums with John Hammer before Steve Perry ever recorded Street Talk. Steve noticed this and wasn't happy. In a 2008 interview with GQ, he admitted that Neal's solo work worried him. He thought it could hurt the band. Steve even told their manager, "I think this is a bad idea." But the manager said Neal needed to do what he wanted. After Neal's second solo album, Steve decided to record his own solo record. That's when Street Talk was born. Yet even after this, Steve believed they would all return to Journey and continue together. He thought they could all explore other musical styles and then bring fresh ideas back to the band. But things didn't go exactly as planned. Years later, in the mid-90s, Steve Perry wanted to reunite with Journey. He called Jonathan Cain and expressed his desire to make new music and tour again. After some discussions, the classic lineup got back together and recorded Trial by Fire. Everything seemed perfect. But right after the album was finished, tragedy struck for Steve. During a hiking trip, he injured his hip and was told he needed surgery. Steve didn't want to rush into surgery just for the tour. He hoped his bandmates would understand. But instead, Neal Schon and Jonathan Cain pushed for answers. They asked Steve about his plans and shockingly admitted that they had been auditioning other singers. Steve felt deeply betrayed. He said, "I didn't feel like major surgery was a band decision." Feeling hurt and left out, Steve called his lawyer and officially left Journey. He later shared his anger about the situation. He was the one who tried to bring the band back together, yet he felt abandoned when things got tough. This wasn't the only time Steve and Neal clashed. Back in 1981, during the making of Open Arms, Neal disliked the song and didn't want it on the album. But when the fans loved it during live shows, Neal suddenly changed his mind. Steve was furious about Neal's shift in attitude. He said, "I looked at him and I wanted to kill him." Even after Steve's departure, the tension continued. Legal battles started when Neal and Jonathan tried to trademark Journey songs. Steve later dropped the lawsuit, but it showed how deep the divide had become. Still, time has softened things, at least a little. In January 2025, Neal Schon wished Steve Perry a happy birthday online. Fans went wild with reunion rumors. Neal also admitted in interviews that Steve still inspires him when writing songs. He said, "Steve has always had a place in my heart and soul. So where do they stand now? It's complicated. They are not making new music together, but they have reconnected in personal and business matters." Neal even called Steve the voice of Journey while admitting their legacy still matters deeply. Steve Perry's accusation that Neal Schon's actions helped break the band apart left a lasting mark. It split fans into 2 sides: those who understood Neal's need to move on, and those who believed Steve was unfairly treated. But even after all the fights, betrayals, and lawsuits, one thing is clear: their shared history continues to shape Journey's legacy forever.